Hey, what's up, universe? It's 7:41 p.m. Central Time on Saturday, October 28th, 2023. Oh, man. So I worked like 9 a.m. to like 6:30 p.m. I stayed an extra 2.5 hours because it was just busy today. And there was one guy closing, and I just didn't feel right leaving him alone, you know? And so yeah, it was busy, and the day went by fast, but it was the kind of busy that isn't fun in the sense of like, oh wow, the time's going by fast. It's the kind of busy where it's just annoying, you know what I mean? That's the kind of energy that was that was being managed today, and I wasn't the only one feeling that, you know what I mean? Just, there was a dude that came up and ordered like 15 hot chocolates. Like, there were like a number of messes that I made, you know. It was just one of those kind of like, you know, just one thing after another, and it wasn't horrible, but it was like, okay, what the hell, I'm ready for tomorrow, you know what I mean? It was kind of like one of those. Anyway, that's just an aside. More importantly and more interestingly is that I received an email while I was working my shift. So I received this email that I just saw maybe 30 minutes ago, and it's from the HR manager here at this location, and she forwarded me the response from corporate HR, right? So the last thing where my W-8 BEN stood, as I was waiting to hear back from corporate to see what the legal department said. So found that out today. Corporate HR was like, hey, we heard back from, and they must have named like their internal counsel, and they said, I just kind of quoted for you. So this is from corporate HR. Said, okay, I heard back from, I'm going to assume internal counsel's name, you know, last night. So we do not honor, quote unquote, sovereign citizen requests. You know, sovereign citizen is in quotes. This corporate HR person continues to say taxes will come out of his check, meaning my check. Says, if you have any questions, call me. And that's to the HR manager here. And so this was sent to the HR manager here on Thursday, October 26th. And the HR manager here thought she had forwarded it to me on Thursday, but she realized it was just a draft. So she forwarded it to me today, this evening. So, and there's like a smiley emoji there too. If you have any questions, call me, smiley face. So the response from corporate is kind of funny in a couple of ways. One, it seems rather nonchalant, you know, like maybe even somewhat dismissive. The term sovereign citizen is an oxymoron, because you cannot be a sovereign citizen. You can be a sovereign national, you can be a state national, and the state national is actually more the right term, the correct term. But you cannot be a sovereign citizen. It's an oxymoron. You can't do that. It's not a thing. And then also, like, it just raises questions of like, well, now there's going to be recourse that I'm going to take, and this is what I've been waiting for. You know, I'm like, okay, well, how is corporate going to respond? Because legally, they have to take my W-8 BEN. They have to, because it's my relationship with the IRS. It has nothing to do with them. The only reason they have it is because they're the ones that are paying me, but they don't get to choose whether or not taxes are taken out, because it's not their relationship with the IRS, it's my relationship with the IRS. So there's a couple of ways to recourse this. One would be, you know, through a form 3949A, and then also perhaps through the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity, the EEOC. And, you know, there's no reason to necessarily have to get belligerent or nasty about it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, really it's just about, you know, informing and educating people about what's going on, because, you know, again, this type of thing isn't a standard. It's not something a majority of people are doing, so it's okay that the people in the positions that they're in have a certain view or a certain understanding which is erroneous, and to just work with them to iron this out, you know what I mean? So some tax stuff going on today, you know. Got served a tax warrant, got informed by, you know, the HR manager that, hey, we're going to take out taxes. We don't quote unquote honor sovereign citizens. Yeah. So all of these things, like, that are challenges, you know what I mean? Like, to what it is that I'm doing. And at the same time, it's like, I know this is right, you know? Like, I find it a little odd in a way, after having sent what I sent, when I sent the entire revocation of election package, that a lawyer would be able to read through that and be like, oh, this is BS. You're like, are you... No, dude, it's not. And furthermore, though, it's not the employer's place to dictate that. You know what I mean? They're clearly outside of their, I don't want to say, well, in a way I do want to say jurisdiction, but it's not quite the right word that I'm looking for. They're just not. Yeah, it's not their place to define that relationship. You know, I submitted them a form, I submitted them the paperwork, and it's not up to them to whether or not they honor it or not. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. It's not how that works. You know what I mean? It's just... So, I know now what direction to kind of go, what I need to kind of look into. I have some homework I need to do, you know, this kind of a thing. So it'll be an interesting next little bit coming up, because these are the things that are on my plate now. I got to talk and communicate to the Kansas Department of Revenue, maybe the Secretary of State. And I'm thinking now, earlier, after I got off my shift, I was like, oh, you know, it's possible that with my revocation of election, with my letter of intent and affidavit, I'd sent it to the IRS, but I also addressed it to the commissioner in Missouri for a local IRS service center, because I was staying in Missouri at the time. Now, when I filed my taxes, it was with the state of Kansas. In retrospect, I probably should have addressed the letter not only to the IRS commissioner in Washington, D.C., but also to a service center in Kansas. You know, being in Kansas City or in any other city that happens to straddle a state line where you might find yourself living or kind of staying, sojourning, we'll say, in one state and obtaining compensation in another state, in the other state, you know, sojourning in Kansas, receiving compensation in Missouri, sojourning in Missouri, receiving compensation in Kansas. It's probably best to inform both states, both IRS, you know, directors in both of those states, so that way everything's communicated. So in retrospect, that's probably the best course of action for me to have taken. Regardless, I still think this is all going to turn out fine. So, but yeah, that's just kind of that's the update. That's the things that are going on. I'll keep you guys updated on what's happening and how things unfold. So, all right. I love you guys. Thanks for giving me some time, hanging out with me, and journeying with me, and giving me some attention and some space and some love and some grace and the support. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.